Hey guys, my name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Today I am with Bill Fagerbakke. Hi.
How are you doing today?
Did you enjoy playing as Patrick on SpongeBob?
I think every actor aspires to do comedy and do it well. So I got lucky with working on SpongeBob SquarePants. I have had an amazing 17 years playing Patrick. I think every actor who aspires to do great things would love to have the opportunity to do a character that spans generations.
What is your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is definitely Band Geeks. I was in it about 40% of the episode. I think it's one of the best SpongeBob episodes because it illustrates how hard SpongeBob and Squidward have been working for the band, and at the same time, you have to feel for poor Squidward because everyone's trying to take credit for his band. Also, it illustrates how much Mr. Krabs loves money.
Name one episode that you hated.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I think a particular episode was where SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs thought they killed the health inspector. I thought the premise of that particular episode was kind of dark. SpongeBob is all about lightness and fun, and this episode seemed kind of dark for the show, at least in my humble opinion.
Can you do the iconic Patrick voice?
Sure. Are you ready?
You can say whatever you want.
Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick.
What is your thoughts? Work with Tom Kenny.
Tom Kenny is one of the most talented, funniest, kindest, and hardest working actors I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And of course, he's a voice acting god.
What was your opinion, Roger Bumpa?
I've worked with Roger Bumpass for over 20 years now. Roger Bumpass may in fact be the funniest guy in the world. He's an actor's dream to work with and is the king of one-liners.
What was the story behind Patrick So Stupid?
You know, in the first season of the show, the producers weren't exactly sure about how stupid Patrick should be. I mean, we were going for lighthearted, not like stupid. But the audience really responded to when we made him dumb and stupid. When they realized that they kept having me do dumber and dumber stuff, and it was really great, and it worked out perfect for the character of Patrick and the show.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is sushi. I love going to a sushi bar and seeing what the sushi chef can put together for me. I've probably tried 250 different kinds of sushi and love every bite.
What is your favorite snack?
My favorite snack is probably popcorn. Popcorn I can munch on all day long. I love movies, so popcorn is a no-brainer. I can have it sweet or salty, buttery or with no butter, and don't even get me started on caramel or kettle corn.
What's your thought on your ex-wife, Kathleen McClanahan? You've been together over 23 years and you got a divorce.
Catherine and I were together for 28 years. She was my high school sweetheart. We went to college together. We married. We had a daughter together. So you spend half your life with somebody. There's no real easy way to break up. We are both in a better place now, and we still work on things together. Like, we work in a lot of theater productions together. We both have a good working relationship.
Do you have any regrets?
That's a great question. I don't really like to dwell on regrets. I think there are some decisions I regret that I've made, but I try to look at things and say, did I learn from the experience? Some things I wish I had done differently, but those decisions and some of the bad decisions made me the person I am today. So I would say that the regrets are part of what makes me who I am, so I don't spend too much time dwelling on it.
What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink in the winter months is hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is so yummy and really warms you up. In the summer, I love drinking lemonade, especially raspberry lemonade.
Do you have a favorite moment with Tom Kenny?
I think my favorite moment is always going into the sound studio and working with Tom or any of the other cast members. It's a joy and one of the great benefits of my job. It's been 17 years working with Tom now, so we've had a lot of great moments. I'm sure there's a moment with Tom that I'm forgetting about, but honestly, every moment is a joy when you get to work with someone like Tom Kenny.
What is your thoughts when was Patrick's star?
I mean, I loved Patrick from the first day I played the character. He's so fun, so dumb, so stupid, but so caring. His personality is all over the place, but in the best possible way. He's just a fun character to play, and the best part is that he has no filter on what comes out of his mouth, so he just says everything that he's thinking. I love playing Patrick.
You was born 1957. How did it feel for you?
That's a good question. I mean, I've lived over half a century. I remember as a kid when I was 6 or 7 years old thinking what it would be like to be 30. I'm 62 right now, and time has flown by. As you grow up and get older, you still feel the same, but your body starts to break down on you. I always say that my body is 62, but my mind still thinks it's 18.
With Catherine McClanahan.
My favorite moment with my ex-wife is probably when she told me she was pregnant with our daughter. We were both so excited, so scared, but so excited. But I should say my favorite moments are usually the smallest things. One of my favorite moments with her is just sitting and listening to the rain, cuddled up in a warm bed.
Do you have any project?
I do have a few projects coming up. I'm going to be the lead in a play called Proof at the Bucks County Playhouse in New Jersey in a few weeks. I'm actually going to be doing a play in August with my ex-wife where we play husband and wife, so we'll have some fun with that. I'm also currently recording a voice for a new animated show, but I can't say what it is yet. There are a few other things in the works.
Do you have any plans?
I plan on doing more theater. Theater is my first love. It's how I started out. I love being on stage and being in front of a live audience. I would like to do some more acting on television and movies, but theater is always going to be my first love. I also would like to keep doing voices for animation. I've had great success in cartoons for the last 20 plus years, so I'd like to keep that part of my career going for as long as I can.
Do you have a favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie is The Exorcist. It came out the year I was born. It's a bit before my time, but the first time I ever saw it when I was 12 or 13. I know pretty much the entire movie word for word. It scared the crap out of me.
You initially went there to play football as a defensive lineman, but later pursued a theater degree after an injury. You graduated with a BA in theater arts from the University of Idaho. You also attended a graduate acting program at Southern Methodist University.
That is correct. I was going to play football in college and I got injured. Then I was going to go to law school, but I decided to go to Idaho and study theater. I was there from 1977, 1981, so 4 years. I graduated with a BA in theater and a minor in psychology.
Coach BU has lived in Los Angeles ever since you moved to Film Coach. When asked if you would ever come back to Idaho, you said you visit often, but now has a grandbaby you spends your time with.
I'm originally from Moscow, Idaho, which is home of the University of Idaho. After I graduated college in the early 80s, I moved to NYC to try to become an actor. I lived and worked there for 4 years. I was working all the time in theater, but the film and TV business was slow. So I decided to move to Los Angeles. I've been in LA for the last 35 years.
SpongeBob and Patrick's Timeline Twist Up, June 27, 2025.
The episode Timeline Twist Up is a great episode. It was a lot of fun to voice. It's kind of a what if episode where it goes back and forth from the present timeline to other timelines that are different for different characters. I love episodes like that.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, April 8, 2000. Mr. Krabs warns SpongeBob and Patrick to beware the dangerous fishing hooks. SpongeBob joins Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy on patrol.
The episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2 is a classic. I loved working on episodes with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with their favorite childhood superheroes?
Fools in April. Neptune's Spatula, April 1, 2000. Squidward decides to teach SpongeBob a real April Fool's Day prank, but finds out being mean doesn't necessarily mean funny. SpongeBob seizes the mythical spatula of King Neptune.
Those are both really fun episodes. Fools in April is one of my favorite non-Halloween episodes. Neptune's Spatula is a really great episode, just an all-around fun story.
Texas Walking. Small Mar 22, 2000. Sandy is homesick and plans to return home. The evil Plankton is up to no good once again when he tries to manipulate SpongeBob.
Those are both classic episodes. Texas is a great episode, but I'm a little biased since my favorite actress, Phyllis Diller, voices Sandy's aunt and uncle in that episode. Walking Small was a really good episode, especially in terms of character development for SpongeBob.
Rock Bottom, May 15, 2000. Mr. Krabs joins in a game of treasure hunt with SpongeBob and Patrick. SpongeBob gets on the wrong bus and finds himself in rock bottom.
Those episodes are a lot of fun. Arg is another classic episode. I really like episodes where the plot is about a big treasure hunt. Rock Bottom is a really funny episode. It has a couple of the most memorable characters on the show in it.
Valentine's Day, the paper Feb 14, 2000. 2000. Patrick feels snubbed when SpongeBob's Valentine's Day gift doesn't arrive as planned. SpongeBob turns Squidward's old gum wrapper into a magical toy.
I think those are really great episodes for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day does a good job showing how SpongeBob isn't the brightest guy by giving the same gift to two different people. But the paper is great. The way SpongeBob turns a simple gum wrapper into a fun toy that Squidward can't resist.
Sleepy Time Suds, Jan 17, 2000. SpongeBob suddenly possesses the ability to visit the dreams of his friends. SpongeBob comes down with a case of the suds, an illness which turns him into a bubble maker.
Those are two more fun episodes. Sleepy Time is a really good episode where SpongeBob suddenly gains the ability to see into the dream world. Suds is a really great episode, but I don't think Patrick ever gets enough credit in that one. I mean, he cures SpongeBob of a debilitating disease.
SB-129, Karate Choppers, Deck 31, 1999. Fleeing from SpongeBob and Patrick's consistent noise, Squidward winds up frozen. SpongeBob and Sandy's incessant karate sparring is starting to wreak havoc in the Krusty Krab.
Those two episodes go great together, in my opinion. SB-129 is a really great episode where Squidward accidentally goes through the future part of SpongeBob Time Machine. The episode looks completely different from any other episode in terms of animation, and it works. Karate Choppers is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob and Sandy's karate training goes too far.
Scaredy Pants. I was a teenage Gary Act 28, 1999. SpongeBob's determined to scare everyone at Mr. Krabs' Halloween party in Minoscodio. Squidward reluctantly agrees to take care of SpongeBob's pet snail, Gary.
Those are great episodes that really show different sides of the main characters. Scaredy Pants is a fun Halloween episode where SpongeBob's determined to scare everyone, but of course it doesn't work out how you would expect. I Was a Teenage Gary is a great episode that really shows how much SpongeBob cares for Gary. It also shows a softer side to Squidward.
The Chaperone, Employee of the Month, Oct. 2, 1999. When Mr. Krabs' daughter Pearl is stood up, SpongeBob agrees to step in. Mr. Krabs dupes SpongeBob into believing he might break his winning streak and lose to Squidward.
Those are a couple of really funny episodes. The Chaperone is a really cool episode where SpongeBob gets to dance with Pearl in a fancy way. Employer of the Month shows how Mr. Krabs is so greedy that he would cheat to win a trophy.
Muzzlebob, Buffpants / Squidward, The Unfriendly Ghost, Sept. 25, 1999. SpongeBob gets pumped up with the aid of inflatable muscles. Squidward's accidental pasting by a flying shell haunts SpongeBob and Patrick.
And those are great episodes. Muscle Bob Buffpants is a funny episode where SpongeBob gets buff and accidentally scares Sandy when they're working out together. And SpongeBob shows how much he really loves Krabby Patties. Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick find out about Squidward's secret fear of ghouls.
Culture Shock, FUNCF 80, 1999. There's a talent show at the Krusty Krab, and Squidward takes over the planning. The evil Plankton tries to steal the Krusty Krab's Krabby Patty.
Those are both fun episodes. Culture Shock is a great episode where Squidward tries unsuccessfully to impress Squilliam without SpongeBob's help. FUN is a classic episode with the first appearance of the musical. F is for friends who do stuff together, and also Plankton's attempt to get the secret formula.
Nature PNS, Opposite Day, Sept. 11, 1999. SpongeBob decides to leave his industrialized life and live off the land with the jellyfish. Fed up with SpongeBob and Patrick, Squidward decides to sell his house.
I think those are a couple of really fun episodes. Nature Pants is a fun episode where SpongeBob decides to live with the jellyfish, but doesn't last very long without the comforts of Bikini Bottom. Opposite Day is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick decide to do things differently, and it drives poor Squidward crazy.
Sandy's Rocket, Squeaky Boots, Sept. 17, 1999. SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally launch a rocket and mistakenly think they have landed on the moon. Mr. Krabs gives SpongeBob an odd pair of shoes.
Those are both great episodes. Sandy's Rocket is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally launch a rocket and end up on the moon. Squeaky Boots is a funny episode where Mr. Krabs gives SpongeBob a pair of annoying shoes and SpongeBob has to work with them. Poor Squidward almost goes insane because of them.
I'll monitor. Jellyfish Jam, Aug 28, 1999. It's SpongeBob's turn to be hall monitor at the boating school. SpongeBob takes a wild jellyfish home, but it multiplies and the jellyfish begin to take over.
Those are both hilarious episodes. Hall Monitor is a great episode where SpongeBob is the hall monitor, but he's a little too enthusiastic about it. Jellyfish Jam is a great episode where SpongeBob gets a jellyfish as a pet, but after a night of disco, it multiplies and takes over Bikini Bottom.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Pickles, Aug 21, 1999. Watching reruns of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, SpongeBob loses his self-confidence when an arrogant customer claims SpongeBob forgot to put pickles on his Krabby Patty.
Those are both really great episodes. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob and Patrick become fanboys for the famous superheroes. Pickles is a really great episode where SpongeBob loses his self-confidence when he makes a mistake with a customer's Krabby Patty.
Pizza Delivery, Aug 14, 1999. Mr. Krabs says SpongeBob and Squidward go above and beyond the call of duty to make the first successful Krabby Patty pizza delivery.
That's a really great episode. SpongeBob and Squidward have to go all out to deliver the first ever Krabby Patty pizza, and Squidward goes through absolute torture to protect SpongeBob. It's a pretty hilarious episode.
Howdy Nautical Neighbors, Boating School, Aug 7, 1999. Squidward plays a joke on SpongeBob and Patrick, but the joke backfires on Squidward. It's exam time again at Mrs. Puff's boating school.
Both of those episodes are really fun. Naughty Nautical Neighbors is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Patrick's houses are right next to Squidward, so Squidward decides to play a few pranks. Boating School is a funny episode that shows SpongeBob's first final at boating school, and he has a pretty difficult time passing.
Belly Fishing, Plankton, Note 24, 1999. While Squidward recovers from a bicycle accident, SpongeBob and Patrick take him jellyfishing. SpongeBob falls victim to a scheme by the evil Plankton.
Those are two really iconic episodes. Jellyfishing is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob and Patrick's jellyfish hunting leads to poor Squidward getting covered in jellyfish stings. Plankton is a great episode where Plankton has a scheme, but SpongeBob is the only one who can stop him.
Help Wanted, Reef Blowers, May 1, 1999. SpongeBob applies for a job as a fry cook at Krusty Krab, Squidward's lawn.
Those are two really great episodes to start the series. Help Wanted is a great episode that shows SpongeBob's first day working Krusty Krab and how he saves the day. Reef Blower is a fun episode where Squidward has his own garden and SpongeBob accidentally blows his leaves away with a reef blower.
The Fry Cook Game, Sep 28, 2001. Mr. Krabs discovers that customers love SpongeBob's special jellyfish jelly Krabby Patty. He begins to take advantage of the jellyfish. Mr. Krabs enters SpongeBob in the Fry Cook Games, where he competes against Patrick.
Those are great episodes. Jellyfish Hunter is a hilarious episode where Mr. Krabs exploits SpongeBob to get more jellyfish jelly. Fry Cook Games is a really great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick compete in the first annual Fry Cook Games.
Sailor Mouth, Artist Unknown, Sep 21, 2001. SpongeBob reads a bad word off a dumpster behind a Krusty Krab and he doesn't know what it means. When SpongeBob enrolls in Squidward's community art class, arrogant Squidward attempts to teach him strictly by the book.
Those are some really fun episodes. Sailor Mouth is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Patrick read a dirty word off a dumpster and they go through great lengths to say it as much as possible. Artist Unknown is a really great episode where SpongeBob joins Squidward at his art class and they have their first disagreement.
Sandy, SpongeBob and the Worm, Squid on Strike, Aug 12, 2001. Believing Mr. Krab is taking advantage, Squidward convinces SpongeBob to join with him and threaten Mr. Krabs with a strike. A large worm is terrorizing Bikini Bottom and SpongeBob is terrified of it.
Those are both great episodes. Sandy's SpongeBob and the Worm is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob ends up having to overcome his fears to protect Sandy. Squid on Strike is a really great episode where Squidward and SpongeBob go on strike against Mr. Krabs to try and teach Mr. Krabs a lesson, but it doesn't quite work as they planned.
Procrastination. I'm with Stupid Enough 30th, 2001. SpongeBob must write an 800-word essay for boarding school, but gets distracted easily. When Patrick's parents come over for Starfish Day, Patrick gets upset that they still think he isn't very smart.
Those are a couple of really great episodes. Procrastination is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob must write a paper for boating school but keeps getting distracted. I'm with Stupid is a great episode where Patrick's parents come over and show SpongeBob how smart they think their son is, and it goes to his head.
Graveyard Shift. Krusty loves Sep 6, 2002. While working the graveyard shift, Squidward tells SpongeBob a scary tale. Miss Puff pays a visit to the Krusty Krab and Mr. Krabs is instantly smitten with her.
Those are two good episodes. Graveyard Shift is a spooky episode where Squidward is telling SpongeBob and Patrick a scary story. Krusty Love is a great episode where Mr. Krabs is trying to impress Miss Puff, and we get some insight into Mr. Krabs' childhood.
Welcome to the Shum Bucket. Frankendoodle, Jan 21st, 2002. Mr. Krabs loses SpongeBob's fry cook contract in a bet with Plankton, and SpongeBob is forced to go work at the Chum Bucket. SpongeBob and Pat discover a pencil that makes everything they draw come to life.
Those are two great episodes. Welcome to the Chum Bucket is a funny episode where SpongeBob ends up working at the Chum Bucket. Frankendoodle is a really cool episode where SpongeBob and Patrick find a magic pencil that makes things come to life from their drawings.
Pressure. The Smoking Peanut Mar 8, 2001. Sandy and SpongeBob get into a fierce competition doing extreme underwater sports. SpongeBob and Pat visit the zoo and SpongeBob innocently tosses a peanut at an oyster in order to rouse it. The oyster then goes crazy.
Those are some great episodes. Pressure is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Sandy have an underwater extreme sporting competition. The Smoking Peanut is a really funny episode where SpongeBob accidentally throws a peanut into an oyster that the zoo thinks is sick, but is just addicted to nicotine.
No free rides. I'm your biggest fanatic. Mar 7th, 2001. SpongeBob attempts and fails his driving test again, but a fed-up Ms. Puff wants him out of her classroom, so she makes up extra credit for him so he can pass the test. SpongeBob tries to join an exclusive jellyfishing club.
Those are two fun episodes. No Free Rides is all about SpongeBob trying to get his driver's license. I'm Your Biggest Fanatic is a really fun episode where SpongeBob tries to get into a jellyfish club and gets kidnapped by the president of the club.
Survival of the Idiots. Dumped Mar 5th, 2001. SpongeBob and Pat are fascinated by the snow they see inside the tree dome and want to play in it, but Sandy is hibernating for the winter. SpongeBob grows more and more jealous as Gary spends more time with Patrick.
That's a fun episode. Survival of the Idiots is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob and Patrick want to go outside in the first and don't understand why Sandy won't let them. Dumped is a sad but really good episode where SpongeBob ends up being heartbroken when he thinks he sees Gary spending too much time with Patrick.
Wormy, Patty Hype, Feb 17th, 2001. SpongeBob and Patrick are convinced a butterfly ate Sandy's pet caterpillar. SpongeBob's colored patty sales idea becomes a huge success and Mr. Krabs wants a piece of the pie.
Those are fun episodes. Wormy is a great episode that makes SpongeBob and Patrick believe a butterfly ate Sandy's caterpillar. Patty Hype is a fun episode where colored patties become popular and Mr. Krabs steals the idea to make extra money.
Grandma's Kisses. Squidville, Mar 6, 2001. SpongeBob's friends tease him after Grandma gives him a kiss. Sick and tired of living between SpongeBob and Patrick, Squidward decides to move out of Bikini Bottom.
Those are great episodes. Grandma's Kisses is a sweet episode where Sponge gets a kiss from his grandma and is made fun of by his friends. Squidville is a great episode where Squidward moves away from Bikini Bottom to live with other serious squids, only to realize he can't live without SpongeBob and Patrick.
Big Pink Loser. Bubble Buddy Nuff 16th, 2000. Patrick goes overboard when he takes SpongeBob on as a role model. SpongeBob blows a bubble to keep him company when Patrick goes out of town.
Those are two fun episodes. Big Pink Loser is a hilarious episode where Patrick takes SpongeBob as his role model as a friend and takes everything way too far. Bubble Buddy is a classic episode where SpongeBob invents Bubble Buddy, a sentient bubble, and creates a new friend.
Your Shoes Untied. Squid's Day Off Nuff 2nd, 2000, Patrick gets a new pair of shoes, but doesn't know how to tie his laces. Mr. Krabs takes the day off from the Krusty Krab and puts Squid in charge.
Those are two great episodes. Your Shoes Untied is a hilarious episode where Patrick gets new shoes and doesn't know how to tie his laces. Squid's Day Off is a classic episode where Mr. Krabs decides to take a day off and has to trust Squidward with the responsibility of running the Krusty Krab.
Something Smells, Bossy Boots, Oct 26, 2000, SpongeBob eats sea onion ice cream and his breath stinks. When people avoid him, Pat convinces him that it's because he's ugly. When Mr. Krabs gives his daughter Pearl a job at the Krusty Krab, she starts to make some changes.
Those are two fun episodes. Something Smells is a really funny episode where SpongeBob eats sea onion ice cream and gets bad breath. Patrick tries to convince him that the people are avoiding him because he is ugly. Bossy Boots is a very unique episode where Mr. Krabs gives his daughter Pearl a job at the Krusty Krab and she tries to make some big changes.
SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, Oct 11th, 2004. SpongeBob catches someone littering and turns him in, but it's the Tattletale Strangler. SpongeBob and Patrick invest in some magic invisible spray at the local prank shop.
Oh, that's a great episode. SpongeBob Meets the Strangler is a fun episode where SpongeBob turns in someone littering, but it's the Tattletale Strangler. Invisible Spray is a great episode where SpongeBob buys invisible spray at the prank store and him and Patrick go cause some trouble with it.
The Sponge Who Could Fly, March 21st, 2003. SpongeBob wants to fly and tries to invent a flying machine. All of them fail and people begin to think that SpongeBob is crazy until he puts a hairdryer in his pants. The hot air enables him to fly, but then people start asking him for too many favors.
That's a really great episode. The Sponge Who Could Fly is a classic episode where SpongeBob tries to fly, but all his flight machines fail until he uses a hairdryer in his pants. He becomes more popular than his wildest dreams, but people start to love him too much.
Missing Identity, Plankton's Army, Jan 19th, 2004. SpongeBob forgets who he is when his name tag goes missing. Plankton celebrates 25 years of trying to steal the Krabby Patty recipe.
Those are two great episodes. Missing Identity, Plankton's Army are some of the best episodes in the whole show. Missing Identity is a classic episode where SpongeBob loses his name tag and forgets who he is. Plankton's Army is a hilarious episode where Plankton tries to use a formula to steal the recipe for the Krabby Patty, but ends up making a big army of evil copies.
Krabby Land, the camping episode, April 3rd, 2004. Mr. Krabs aims to squeeze every penny out of kids on summer break by building or ground in the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob and Patrick lure Squidward to their backyard campout.
Those are some fun episodes. Krabby Land is a crazy episode where Mr. Krabs opens a dangerous playground to make a ton of money from the kids on summer break, but it backfires. The camping episode is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick try to trap Squidward into going camping with them, but he is not interested.
Born Again, Krabs I Had an Accident, Oct 4th, 2003. Mr. Krabs gets ill after eating an old Krabby Patty that he refused to throw away. SpongeBob has an accident while sand sledding. Afraid for his safety, he won't leave his house.
Those are great episodes, especially Born Again Krabs. Born Again Krabs is a great episode where Mr. Krabs finds a really old Krabby Patty and eats it, but gets sick. I Had an Accident is a really sad episode where SpongeBob gets a sprained butt after he sand sleds. The injury makes him so scared of doing anything that he refuses to leave his house.
SpongeBob BC Before Comedy, March 5th, 2004. It is a prehistoric Bikini Bottom, and we spend a day in the life of Spongegar, Pater, and Squog. Our three Neanderthal friends discover fire only to put it out.
That's a unique episode. SpongeBob BC Before Comedy is a very unique episode taking place in prehistoric Bikini Bottom. It follows the adventures of three Neanderthal SpongeBob characters known as Spongegar, Patar, and Squog. These guys discover fire, but are so shocked that they put it out right away.
The Great Snail Race Midlife Crustacean, Jan 24th, 2003. Squidward gets a purebred snail and decides to race her in the snail races. Mr. Krabs feels old, so he asks if he could join SpongeBob and Patrick on a wild night out.
Those are two fantastic episodes. The Great Snail Race is a great episode where Squidward gets a purebred snail named Snell and decides to race her in a snail race. Midlife Crustacean is a hilarious episode where Mr. Krabs thinks he's too old and goes out with SpongeBob and Patrick in an effort to feel young again.
New Student, Starfish Clams, Oct 4th, 2002. Patrick comes to boating spot expo with SpongeBob and soon gets on his nerves. Mr. Krabs takes SpongeBob and Squidward clam fishing.
Those are two very fun episodes. New Student Starfish Clams are two classic SpongeBob episodes. Patrick's new attitude drives SpongeBob crazy at boating school, and Mr. Krabs takes SpongeBob and Squidward on a clam fishing expedition.
Club SpongeBob, My Pretty Seahorse Joel, 5002 SpongeBob and Patrick build a small clubhouse in a tree. When Squidward wants to join their club, he literally doesn't fit in. SpongeBob finds a stray seahorse and adopts it. Chocolate with Nuts, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy v. June 1st, 2002 SpongeBob and Patrick tell all sorts of fibs to sell chocolate door to door. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are back once more.
Those are some fantastic episodes. Chocolate with Nuts, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5 is a classic episode split into two parts. Chocolate with Nuts is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Patrick do some fibbing in order to sell some chocolate door to door. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5 is a great episode where the superhero duo of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy return for another action-packed adventure.
SpongeBob's House Party, May 17, 2002. SpongeBob spends a night in jail after he is caught by the police trying to get back into his place after he accidentally locks himself out of his home during a house party for his friends.
That's a fun episode. SpongeBob's House Party is a great episode where SpongeBob is forced to spend a night in jail after he locked himself out of his house and got caught trespassing. SpongeBob decides to throw a house party for all his best pals like Squidward, Sandy, Patrick, and many more.
Wet Painter's Krusty Krab training video, May 10, 2002. SpongeBob and Patrick must paint Mr. Krabs' living room without getting a drop of paint on anything but the walls. Learn how to become a Krusty Krab employee in this episode.
Those are two classic episodes. Wet Painters, Krusty Krab training video are some very, very fun episodes. Wet Painters is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick must paint Mr. Krabs' living room without getting a single drop of paint on anything besides the walls. Krusty Krab training video is a great episode that goes over all of the rules to become a Krusty Krab employee.
Crabborg, Rockabye by Volmar 29th, 2002. After watching a movie where robots take over the world, SpongeBob thinks Mr. Krabs is a robot. SpongeBob and Patrick find a baby clam and decide to raise it as their own.
Those are some good episodes. Crabborg, Rockabye Bevolve are great episodes. Crabborg is a classic episode where SpongeBob thinks Mr. Krabs is a robot after seeing a futuristic movie and gets paranoid. Rockabye Bivalve is a super cute episode where SpongeBob and Patrick find a baby clam and decide to raise it like their own child.
No weenies allowed. Squilliam returns, March 15th, 2002. SpongeBob has to prove that he's tough so he can get into the salty spittoon. Squidward's arch nemesis Squilliam returns to harass Squidward on his failed life since high school.
Those are two really fun episodes. No Weenies Allowed, Squilliam Returns are both very fun episodes. No Weenies Allowed is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob tries to prove that he's tough enough to get into the salty spittoon. Squilliam Returns is a great episode that introduces us to Squidward's arch nemesis from college, Squilliam.
As seen on TV, Can You Spare a Dime, Mar 8, 2002. SpongeBob makes a 1-second cameo in a Krusty Krabs commercial. When a blind man recognizes him, SpongeBob feels he doesn't need his job at the Krusty Krab anymore now that he is famous.
Those are two great episodes. As Seen on TV, Can You Spare a Dime are a couple really fun ones. As Seen on TV is a great episode where SpongeBob makes a cameo appearance in a Krusty Krab commercial and the local blind man recognizes him and a lot of attention goes to his head. Can You Spare a Dime is a really emotional episode where a homeless guy visits SpongeBob asking for spare change and SpongeBob decides he doesn't need to work at the Krusty Krab because of his newfound fame.
The Snowball Effect, One Krabs Trash, the 22nd of February 2002. It's snowing, so SpongeBob and Patrick try to show Squidward how much fun it can be to play in the snow. Mr. Krabs has a garage sale and sells SpongeBob the most valuable of items.
Those are two great episodes. The Snowball Effect and One Krabs Trash are both really fun episodes. The Snowball Effect is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick show Squidward how to have fun in the snow. One Krabs Trash is an awesome episode where Mr. Krabs has a garage sale and accidentally sells some of the most precious items in the entire show.
Driven to Tears, Rule of Thumb, the 12th of November 2024. SpongeBob has failed his driving test again. Pat is so outraged that he takes the test to prove that it is unfair, only he paces. Patrick discovers in a genealogy document that he is next in line to receive a kingly title.
Those are two fun episodes. Driven to Tears and Rule of Dumb are both really good episodes. Driven to Tears is a really fun episode where SpongeBob repeatedly fails the final test in boating school, and Patrick tries to prove the test is too difficult by taking it only to pass. Rule of Dumb is a great episode where Patrick finds out he has royal ancestors and becomes king.
The Pink Purloiner, Squidward, the 19th of February, 2007, distraught that his favorite jellyfishing net has gone missing, SpongeBob suspects Pat may be responsible for the theft. Following yet another rejection by Squidward, SpongeBob decides to construct his own squid to hang with.
Those are two really great episodes. The Pink Purloiner is a great episode with a fun mystery to it as SpongeBob tries to figure out who stole his prized jellyfishing net. Squidward is a fun episode where Squidward is depressed because so many of his paintings are getting rejected, and SpongeBob wants to cheer him up by making him a wooden Squidward to hang out with.
Born to be Wild, Best Frenemies, the 31st of March, 2007, SpongeBob hears that a ferocious biker gang is coming to town. Only no one in Bikini Bottom seems bothered by the news. Mr. Krabs and Plankton work together to infiltrate a new smoothie shop.
Those are fun episodes. Born to be Wild is a great episode where SpongeBob hears that a dangerous biker gang is coming to town, but nobody seems to care except him. Best Frenemies is a funny episode where Mr. Krabs and Plankton set aside their differences to infiltrate a new smoothie parlor.
The Thing, Hocus Pocus, the 10th of November, 2006, SpongeBob is gonna have the best day ever. First, he gets to work at the Krusty Krab. Then he's gonna meet Sandy for a little karate, followed by jellyfishing with Pat and Squidward's clarinet recital.
Those are two really fun episodes. The Thing is one of the funniest episodes in the entire show and shows just how amazing our favorite sea sponge can be. Hocus Pocus is a fun episode where SpongeBob is looking forward to a fun day filled with karate with Sandy, jellyfishing with Patrick, and even going to a clarinet recital with Squidward.
Squidtastic Voyage, That's No Lady, the 6th of October, 2006. When Squidward swallows his clarinet reed, Sandy offers to retrieve the piece by shrinking herself in a mini sub down to microscopic proportions so she can travel into Squid's body.
Those are really fun episodes with the best titles. Squidtastic Voyage is a creative episode where Squidward swallows his clarinet reed and Sandy shrinks herself in a tiny submarine down to microscopic sizes so she can travel through Squidward's body in her tiny submarine. That's No Lady is a really fun episode where SpongeBob and Mrs. Puff get lost in a haunted funhouse during the annual Fun Fest, and Squidward thinks they're dealing with a ghost.
Krusty Towers, Mrs. Puff, You're Fired, the 1st of April, 2006 inch, another one of his money-making schemes. Mr. Krabs turns the Krusty Krab into an upscale hotel. Mrs. Puff gets fired when the higher-ups learn of SpongeBob's repeated failures.
Both of those episodes are fantastic. Krusty Towers is a hilarious episode that shows just how greedy Mr. Krabs can be, transforming the Krusty Krab into a 5-star hotel. Mrs. Puff, You're Fired is a great episode that shows the real struggle that SpongeBob is having in boating school and the consequences of his actions.
Patrick Smartpants, Squidbob Tentacle Pants, the 21st of October, 2005. During a day of jellyfishing, Patrick gets knocked unconscious and comes to with the ability to speak in complete sentences. Sandy's experiment causes SpongeBob and Squidward to meld into one body.
Those are two funny episodes. Patrick Smartpants is a hilarious episode where Patrick gets knocked out and comes to with the ability to speak in complete sentences. Squidbob Tentacle Pants is a great episode where SpongeBob and Squidward are forced to become one entity due to one of Sandy's failed inventions.
Dunces and Dragons, the 20th of February, 2006. After a freak jousting accident at a medieval restaurant, SpongeBob and Patrick are transported to a historical Bikini Bottom, where they are mistaken for great knights.
Dunces and Dragons is a really fun episode that takes a creative look into alternative history, where SpongeBob and Patricia are taken back to medieval times and mistaken for heroic knights.
The Lost Mattress, Krabs vs. Plankton, May 13, 2005. When Plankton slips and falls on some water at the Krusty Krab, he sues Mr. Krabs for failing to post a wet floor sign. Plankton wins the case. He will be awarded everything that Krabs owns, including the secret recipe formula.
Those two fun episodes are some of my favorites. The Lost Mattress is a great episode where Plankton slips on the wet floor at the Krusty Krab and decides to sue Mr. Krab for not having a wet floor sign, which might result in Mr. Krab losing the restaurant and the Krabby Patty secret. Krabs versus Plankton is a classic episode where Plankton and Mr. Krab go to court, where Plankton is trying to get the rights to the secret formula.
Whatever happened to SpongeBob? The 13th of October, 2008. When SpongeBob tries to spend some quality time with his friends, he just ends up being a nuisance to everyone instead. They all tell him to go away. So with a heavy heart, SpongeBob decides to do just that.
That's a really good episode. Whatever Happened to SpongeBob is a super funny episode that deals with SpongeBob feeling like everyone is annoyed with his presence and deciding to do everyone a favor by going away.
Banned in Bikini Bottom, Stanley S. Squarepants, the 24th of November, 2007, Miss Priss, who is against all things fun and delicious, has Krabby Patties banned from Bikini Bottom. When Stanley, SpongeBob's klutzy cousin, comes to visit Bikini Bottom, he quickly turns SpongeBob's life upside down.
Both of those episodes are some of my favorites. Banned in Bikini Bottom is a great episode where Miss Priss is trying to ban Krabby Patties from Bikini Bottom and SpongeBob has to take action. Stanley S. Squarepants is a hilarious episode that introduces us to SpongeBob's bumbling cousin, Stanley.
Pest of the West, the 11th of April, 2008, SpongeBob discovers that he was related to the great Western hero SpongeBob. Hired as the sheriff of Deadeye Gulch, he must reclaim the town from no-good Deadeye Plankton.
This episode is a fun episode. Pest of the West is a fun episode where SpongeBob and Plankton are transported to the Old West. SpongeBob, dressed like a cowboy, becomes the sheriff of the Wild West, while Plankton takes on a role as a typical Western villain.
The Inmates of Summer. To save a squirrel, the 24th of November, 2007, SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally board a ship full of prisoners. SpongeBob and Patrick find themselves left behind on one of Sandy's extreme wilderness expeditions.
Both of those episodes are really fun episodes that go together. The Inmates of Summer is a really fun episode where SpongeBob and Patrick end up on a ship filled with the worst of the worst criminals, only to be forced to live on a deserted island with Sandy. To Save a Squirrel is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally get left behind on an annual trip, where Sandy takes the kids on a survival course.
20,000 Patties Under the Sea. The Battle of Bikini Bottom, the 23rd of November, 2007. SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs turn an old submarine into a mobile Krusty Krab. When Patrick and SpongeBob discover they have clashing views on cleanliness, their disagreement blows up into an epic battle.
These are two really fun episodes. 20,000 Patties Under the Sea is a great episode where Mr. Krab and SpongeBob turn an old submarine into a moving Krusty Krab. The Battle of Bikini Bottom is a really great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick have a conflict due to their different cleaning methods and things get out of hand.
Atlantis Squarepants, the 12th of November, 2007, SpongeBob finds the missing half of an ancient medallion believed to be a relic from the lost city of Atlantis. When the two sides are reunited, suddenly a magical van appears that takes SpongeBob to the legendary city.
That's a really fun episode. Atlantis Squarepants is a hilarious episode where SpongeBob finds a medallion said to be from the legendary city of Atlantis, and when he finds the other half, a magic tram suddenly appears and takes him there.
Goo Goo Gas, The Big Switch, the 29th of September, 2007, Plankton creates a gas that turns everyone at the Krusty Krab into babies. After being enrolled in a chef exchange program, SpongeBob switches places with a snooty French chef from a high-end restaurant.
Those are some really fun episodes. Goo Goo Gas is a hilarious where Plankton creates a gas that turns all the Krusty Krab patrons into toddlers, and SpongeBob and Patrick have to babysit all of them. The Big Switch is a great episode where SpongeBob goes to work at a fancy restaurant in France, and a super snobby French chef comes to work at the Krusty Krab.
A Flea in Her Dome, Donut of Shame. The Krusty Plate, the 1st of August, 2007, SpongeBob and Patrick try to help Sandy rid her tree of fleas. When Patrick accidentally takes SpongeBob's donut, he is racked with guilt over his crime. SpongeBob battles a persistent speck of food that is on a plate.
All three of these episodes are classics. A Flea in Her Dome is a great episode where SpongeBob and Patrick decide to help Sandy get rid of the fleas in her dome, and things go wrong. Donut of Shame is a hilarious episode where Patrick takes SpongeBob's donut and he is overcome by guilt from his actions. The Krusty Plate is a fun episode where SpongeBob battles with a speck of food that is stuck to a plate.
No Hat for Pat. Toy Store of Doom, the 2nd of April, 2014. Patrick is sick of all of his friends not being able to play with him because they have to put on their Krusty Krab hats and go to work. A new toy store has opened up in Bikini Bottom, and SpongeBob and Patrick couldn't be happier.
Both of those episodes are great. No Hat for Pat is a fun episode with a deeper message that you should always make time for your friends, even if work and money is involved. Toy Store of Doom is a nice episode where a new toy store opens up, and SpongeBob and Patrick get a little too excited about it.
Well, Bill Fagerbakke, that all time we have. If you want to say anything else, you can use your Patrick voice if you like.
Thanks for watching all those fun episodes with me. I had a blast.